Hi, Brendan Moriarty here. Everyone knows that Michael Jackson was accused of being a pedophile, right? Like a really very serious crime, especially for someone so very successful and in denial of being black. I mean, if he went to Africa, I think he would have felt like he was an alien. So this, incidentally, and very, very unfortunately, a week before Michael Jackson died from a drug overdose, he was taking all the drugs himself, incidentally. I uploaded a photograph of myself when I was about 10 years old. 9 or 10 years old. I think I was just about 10 years old. My sister was about 3 years old, my little sister, and my big brother, who is about a year older than me. It's all pretty clear. He's reading the book, I'm sitting on his side, and my sister's kind of bouncing around because she's a kid, and she's there. And I felt bad about, I felt really nervous about putting this picture up, because even though she's only 3 years old, she wasn't wearing a shirt inside. Is this weird? And I just didn't know. I was desperate to get people's attention. Okay, that's how desperate I was. And Michael Jackson died, and he was accused of being a pedophile. Okay, now you got to understand, this photograph is an exact copy of E.T. Phone Home. Okay, except that the photograph happened before that. My aunt worked for Xerox Corporation. She was dating like an executive. I think she was just like a trophy girlfriend. Okay, she was just really, my family is cool. Okay, and so she would share photos. She was a party animal, I guess. She always classy stuff. And so anyways, this movie came out after that photograph was taken. You can just tell by the chronological age, and everything. Okay, so and when I was in the 8th grade, about a year after the movie was made or released, E.T. Phone Home, Spielberg, Ready Player One. Thank you. Just make sure you don't fall asleep there, because that's what happened to Michael Jackson. He fell asleep when I showed him that picture, and he didn't wake up. And that's not a joke. Okay, Michael Jackson's dead. Okay, and after that movie, my life was crap. Okay, crap. After that, and I couldn't get a girlfriend. Okay, and that picture is my entire history. That's my entire family history, because my dad is from Krypton. Okay, because he looks just like Superman, just like I look like Elliot in E.T. Okay, the photograph does not lie. My dad was a published artist at Notre Dame University when JFK, an Irishman not from the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, but he was published in this famous newspaper. There's only one Fighting Irish in South Bend, Indiana. And my dad drinks, and he won't stop drinking. He's very incredibly nice, but he just keeps drinking, and I don't know, and he ran away from Krypton. That's all I can say, is because I don't have any history in Wisconsin where he is from. Everything is just shredded like Michael Jackson. And they say the CIA will take a photo of someone very charismatic, perhaps Irish, perhaps in the political schizophrenia of politics and the media. Okay, and they'll take an image and say, oh, isn't that cute? That's just adorable. And look, they look clueless. Scapegoat, or as they say, a straw man, perhaps, but much more of a scapegoat, like the environment. Like if there was a wildfire and people said, I'd rather the planet die than for me to stop sticking my finger in Uranus, like E.T., okay? It's a stupid joke. I'm counting the time here. 4:20, stupid time. So anyways, the photograph that I released, I try to tell as many people as I can, the right people. I'm not trying to polarize people or freak them out, but that photograph of me, that's the exact copy of E.T. Phone Home, was released before Michael Jackson died. Okay. Again, the math is there. I want you to run through it. I'd like to write it, but I don't really type on a touch screen because I feel like an idiot. It's as bad as putting my finger on Uranus with a telescope. It feels about as stupid. And remember that, well, the Vietnam War. Now my Aunt Patty, she was the same age as an exchange student who lived with my mother's family while my mother was at nursing school. So she was not in the house. But my Aunt Patty, who did the Xerox photocopies, dated the Xerox guy who my grandpa was his roommate in college, my grandfather, my mother's father. So she went to school with a Southeast Asian girl, a very charming girl, part of the family very much, at all the family reunions, and really cool, definitely family. But my Aunt Patty was like probably the only white girl who was hanging out with a Southeast Asian, not for 1 year, as most of the exchange students, but for 2 years. Her like 16 years old, 17 years old, she was the only one with a Southeast Asian girl. It was nice. Very much the feather in her hair, sort of because she's really fun. But this is my aunt, and she became a party animal, as they say, which is like, maybe, I don't know, they developed the photographs, they probably used some sort of chemicals, I don't know, Krypton, I don't know, some sort of developing agent, or is it an agenda? It's very interesting because all you really have to, you don't have to send the whole American army off to some foreign country. All you have to do is send messengers, the right people, statistics, people like Jim Morrison, people like George Washington, people like Donald Trump's big brother, who died from drugs the same way Jim Morrison, who was also a big brother with a little sister and a little brother, same thing, pretty much, same age even. And if we had simply sent Jim Morrison and Donald Trump's big brother to very nice places in Asia, it could be a fancy hotel if that's your thing. I have no idea what your thing is, you know. But we could put a telescope on it, you know, we could see Uranus. We say, ouch, right? And the Southeast Asian girl, the little girl, she was really 16, but you know, we want the world to be safe. I want the world to be safe, absolutely responsible. So I'm standing next to a busy road. Because every place else, too nervous, too sketchy. That's the truth, okay? Check Facebook. Michael Jackson died, and I don't know how to do it. They say timeline, but that doesn't mean anything. That's why I'm upset with Facebook, because when they say put it on your timeline, where is the timeline? Because I tried to find it, and you type in a date and nothing comes out. Okay, there is no such thing as a timeline. It's just, that's sort of like saying a like a Holocaust death line or something like that. You're not going to find that. You're not, you know, it's all a bad, very bad joke, or maybe it's like a white line people are snorting on the way to Vietnam. You know, to solve these problems so that Big Brother doesn't screw things up, so he tells us the right stories that actually save us and don't become our only history. And Big Brother's saying, and then someday I'll have daughters and they'll be your only family. And, you know, that's like worse than a tourist going to Vietnam for the wrong reasons, or to Bangkok or some poor country. A little haunting us. Thank you very much. Ouch.